What up? What up? What up? ID gang. What's going on? All right, I see a few people coming on. I see a few people coming on. What's going on, y'all? I'm thankful that y'all even took out the time to jump onto my live. Y'all, this is my very first live, and I'm excited. I'm super excited and super nervous, but we're going to get into it real soon. I just wanted to give it a little bit more time for a little more people to jump on in. Are watching currently, go ahead put in the chat, where you watching from. There we go. We got some more people jumping on. So let me hear y'all in the comment section down below. Y'all watching me from. Really love to know. All right. And also let me know if you can hear well. I do have my headphones in. Just want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. Amen. Amen. All right. All right. ID gang. What's up? Y'all, it's been a minute, but I have never, ever been on live. Ever. This is my very first live. So show me some love. Let me hear y'all in the comments. Don't be shy. I'm not going to call y'all out. Okay. I'm not going to call y'all out. All right. In a few seconds, we're going to get into it. We're going to Hey, y'all. Hey. Y'all coming on in. Go ahead and put up in the comments where y'all watching me from. Thank y'all for taking the time out to join my live. Y'all finna get a little bit of tea on me tonight. That is the goal. The whole theme about this is just getting to know me and knowing my passion behind why I do my podcast and, why I even started it in the first place. I did have a lot of y'all send me some questions, the last 2 weeks, and a lot of y'all were sending a lot of personal questions. Okay. It was a little personal, on the personal side, but that's all right. Cause I did say, whatever you wanted to know, go ahead and send it to me, and y'all did. And I'm grateful that y'all even, took out the time to send me those questions. But ooh, y'all a little nosy. Y'all a little nosy with it. Y'all a little nosy with it, but that's all right. That's all right. Right. See some of y'all in the comments. All right. A few more seconds and we will get into it. All right. I think we done stalled long enough. See a lot of y'all in here, but y'all acting shy so far. That's all right. But just notice, I like when y'all talk to me during my lives. So please, at any time during this video, y'all have any questions, like any questions whatsoever, y'all just go ahead and send it in the comment section down below. I will be paying attention to the comments. So at any time, if y'all have any afraid. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, again, thank y'all for joining in on my live. It means so much to me that y'all even took the time to join. So thank y'all so much. Go ahead and follow me on social media if you haven't already. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Ideal Woman Show. You can follow my Facebook page at Ideal Woman. And I am on TikTok at Coach Brianna P. So go ahead and make sure you are following me on the social media there. Also, at the top here, you will see a QR code where you'll be able to click on the link and you'll see all of my social medias there as well. All right, y'all. So let's get right into it. So y'all did send me a lot of personal questions. Like I said, y'all sent a lot of questions, and it really caused me to do a lot more reflection. Not that I haven't already done it, but y'all had some really great questions, and I wanted to make sure that I answered them with full truth and honesty. As I have no hide, I am not ashamed of my past, and the things that I have experienced so far at such a young age, or whatever. But we're definitely going to start off by just the basics of me, guys. Remember, once again, with my podcast, this whole thing for this live is just I want y'all to get more. I want y'all to get more familiar with my face, and I feel like if you didn't know my background, if you didn't know just half of the things that I've experienced at such a young age, um, I just don't believe that people would really, trust the work that I'm trying to put out. And so, with that being said, I wanted to make time to get a little personal with you all and get them in. And some of the questions y'all have asked, I already planned to tell y'all anyway. So this is going to be amazing. I'm not going to be on here too long with you all, but we're going to make it do what it do. All right. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and give a thumbs up to this video, and let's get right into it. All right. So even though it was a lot of personal questions, of course, I didn't want to be on live for 2-3 hours, right? And so I did pick a handful of questions that I will be answering. But once again, if y'all like the flow of this live and y'all want a part two to This Is Me, then I will definitely do a part two if you guys like the flow of this video so far. But I think when I do the part two, I would like to have a guest speaker as well. So I'll look into getting a guest speaker for the part two of This Is Me, so that you can kind of get, double, some experiences from me, and then experiences from whoever I choose to come on for part two. All right. But yeah, let's get right into it. So first, I wanted to introduce y'all. So I am Brianna. My name is Coach Bree because I am a life coach. I am 23 years old. Okay. I am a first-time mom to my 1-year-old daughter. Her name is Shy. And yes, she runs me all day, every day, but I absolutely love it. First-time mom. And once again, I am a life coach. I specialize in self-love. So I am a self-love coach. Okay. I am very passionate on that because, just the things that I have experienced in life, which you'll get a little taste of that, throughout this video, but just the things that I have experienced in life has really taught me a lot regarding the importance of self-love, self-care, and really being in tune with yourself, And so that's who I am. Outside of that, I am a podcaster. All right. Definitely am a woman of God. Okay. Definitely God-led. And I am an influencer. Okay. Now, I have had my podcast for a little over 2 years, but I have always been making videos and posting videos even before I actually launched my podcast in the beginning. I've always been an influencer, always been a huge impact over the people that were connected to me throughout my life. So it just made sense to be like, you know what? Why not just make a podcast? Like, why not just start speaking? Why not just start getting out there and reaching as many people as I possibly can, versus just, making an impact from the people that I talk to on a daily basis, and, the people that I go to church with, and, the friends that I hang out with, outside of church and stuff like that. And so it was just like, why not? Why not start a podcast? Why not just start, pouring into women in general? We are definitely going to get into why I chose women. But yeah, I did relaunch my podcast this year, considering I did give birth. So I did take a while off as well. And I didn't want to work, I didn't want to operate in my podcast at the time that I did start it, simply because mentally I wasn't ready. Mentally I wasn't ready, and I had a lot of challenges that I still had to overcome, a lot of things that I had to heal from. And so starting my podcast this year has been a great, great, great decision to make because it took a lot of work for me to get here. But that is me. That is who I am. I go by Coach Bree on my podcast. And so, yes, once again, if y'all have questions that y'all want to ask me now, it is never too late. I may just sit some of these questions aside that I prepared for and just answer whatever's in the comments as well. So once again, don't be afraid to ask your questions right now. Hey, Shelly girl. Hey, girl. I see you in the comments. I knew I said I wasn't gonna call y'all out, but I kind of lied there. All right. So the first question that I received was, you know, how did Ideal Woman birth? What birthed Ideal Woman? Okay. Um, well, a lot came with that, honestly. But if I had to really choose, I would say that the things that I've lost. The things that I have lost. The reason why I say the things that I have lost is because when I think, man, I, I had a reality check for sure. Definitely had a reality check. When I say a reality check, so let's go back a little bit because in order for you to understand what I mean by when I lost everything, you have to understand where it all started from. I'll try to summarize it as much as possible because it is a long story. So, I had a long, long relationship at that time. I was in a 3-year relationship. Life was great at that time. I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really know my worth. I didn't really know my value at all. Um, I depended my value and my worth. I depended that success, of course, definitely the relationships that I had at that time in my life. You know, female, my first crib. Not a lot of my friends can say that they were able to do that at such a young age like I was. And so, of course, I felt like, I was confident in who I was. I felt like, I had it all together. I felt like, I was truly within, tapped into myself. And overall, I felt accomplished, but it wasn't until I started losing everything slowly. I ended up quitting the job that paid all of my bills. I ended up losing my apartment because of that. And then I ended up having a really, 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 really bad breakup. Okay. It was so bad to the point where I was here on earth, but I was not here. I was not here. I was not here. It was almost like as if I was floating on earth, floating, literally. I was just out here in life, wake up, go throughout the day, and then do it all over again, literally. And so when I started losing everything, I started realizing that I never really actually knew myself. And I started realizing that, especially at that time in my life, as I was losing everything, I was like, man, and then of course years started going by. I started becoming 20 and then I'm 21. So I was like, man, I am not what I thought I was going to be at this age. I'm not the woman that I thought I was going to be at this time of my life, thinking that I was going to be successful, of course, working up towards marriage at that time, I thought, and, starting a family and things of that nature. I didn't think I would be the woman that I was at that time in my life. And I didn't like what I was becoming. I did not like what I was becoming after I lost everything. Now, at that time, it was hard for me because as I was losing everything, I was becoming even more angry with myself, more angry and frustrated. More so because I didn't feel like I was worth anything. I didn't feel like I would ever become anything, and I didn't feel like I would ever bounce back from I didn't feel like I would ever bounce back from what I just experienced in life. you know, that was very, very traumatic for me. And so, with that being said, I started reflecting more, and I'm fast forwarding now because it is a long story. I started reflecting more, and when I started realizing that, you know, I wasn't amounting up to anything, and I was waddling in what could have been instead of working towards what could be, you know, um, that that really took a huge toll on me. And so I made the decision like, hey, I need to get up. I need to do something with myself. I need to revamp. Okay. And the big thing was I was very disconnected from myself. Very disconnected from myself. And it was so bad to a point as to where, like I said, I was literally just doing life. So when I made that decision of, okay, Bri, it's time to get up. It's time to plug into Brianna, right? And actually started applying it to my life, you know, healing and stuff like that. And that did not take an overnight thing. That was not an overnight thing. It wasn't a week thing. It wasn't no 1 month, 2 month thing. Now that was about a year, a little over a year thing, you know, still currently going type thing, you know. And as I started, you know, becoming more in tune with myself, as I started tapping more into Brianna, into self love, into self care, man, it has literally changed my whole perspective of life. It has literally changed, you know, my whole perspective of me, you know. And so with that being said, you know, one day it literally just hit me. I was in the living room and I was talking to my mom. She was in the kitchen cooking. And I was like, you know what? I would just start a podcast because so many women. And it's funny because this is literally how Ideal Woman was birthed. It was birthed out of me in a state, in a place in my life where I was in between healing, but still letting go. So I was in the place of healing, but still trying to let go. And so in that moment, that's when my purpose literally birthed. And it literally just came out of my mouth. And I wasn't even thinking what I was saying. I was literally just talking. And I was like, Mom, you know what? I'm just gonna start a podcast because, man, I'm so sick of this. Like, there's things that could have been prevented if I had the knowledge, or if I had this, or if I knew this or that. Like, a lot of stuff could have been prevented, right? And so when I said that, like, I literally kind of paused and I was like, wait. Huh? I'm gonna start a podcast. What? Where'd that come from? Because like 10 minutes ago, I was not thinking about a podcast. 24 hours ago, I wasn't thinking about a podcast. Like, where did this come from? And so literally from that day on, I kid you not, I started getting like downloads. Like, God started downloading a whole bunch of stuff in my mind. I started working, I started writing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to do this. Like, I'm really passionate about this. And I didn't even put no thought into it. Like, it literally just slipped out of my mouth. And from there, it just took off. And so that's literally how Ideal Woman was birthed. Um, I kid you not, that's literally how it happened. And then from there, like, I just started branding everything, copywriting everything, you know, preparing everything. And then 2 years later, here I am, right? And so, you know, overall, my whole thing behind it was, you know, if I went through all of that, just you've only heard a summary of what I've went through, you know, and that's not even half. If you've only heard that just from me telling you just part of that, my whole thing was, you know, how many women out there are depending their life on, or depending their value and depending their worth on their success in life, on what they've accomplished so far in life. How many women out there are depending on, are literally determining their worth and value off those things? Not only that, but how many women out there are determining their worth and their value off of the relationships that they have, off the people that they are surrounded with? How many? How many? I think that's a stinger there. Let me know in the comments, y'all. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear. Do you know who you are without the people, things, and success that you have today? And are you happy with who you are without those things and without those people? If you lost all of that today, if you lost your career, if you lost your home, if you lost, you know, if you are in a relationship, if you lost your relationship or any type of relationship or situationship or whatever it is, if you lost all those things right now, Would you know who you are? And would you be happy with who you are? I wanna know what y'all want. I wanna know what y'all think in these comments. I really wanna know. I really wanna know because that's deep. That's deep. And for me, y'all, look, see, this is why I should never did this because y'all asking me these personal questions, and I just off this one question alone, oh my gosh, it's going crazy. It's going crazy. It's going crazy. So yeah. So that's how Ideal Woman was birthed. That's how Ideal Woman was birthed. The next question I got was, what inspired you to start speaking? What inspired me to start speaking? Honestly, it was my generation and my experience growing up. I have always been the type of person that, people never liked and, never wanted to hang around because I didn't fit the crowd. I didn't fit the crowd and I didn't fit the popular expectations, you know? And so, with that being said, at the same time, I was the person that people came to. Literally, in middle school, in high school, and in college, even though I didn't fit in with those crowds, people would literally just come up to me and start venting, start telling me about the things and the people and the issues that they are having, right? They would start, letting it all out, looking for advice, looking for validation. And I never really understood it. But at the same time, and I did find myself getting frustrated, during those times in my life, especially in like during high school, because it's like you coming up to me asking me for advice and you was just talking about me 2 days ago. How that work? But then I was mad at myself because I had a big heart. And so even though you mistreated me or even though you mishandled me or even though you belittled me, I still sat here and said, okay, come on. I'm listening. It's like, what sense does that make? Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't just, a softie out here. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'll tell you something in a second. All right? I will. And won't think twice about it. Okay? Until after I did it. But see, it didn't ever make sense to me because it's like I never fit in. But at the same time, I was the person that everybody liked coming to. And I think also because I'm easy to talk to. I'm a great listener. And I've always been mature, more mature in my mindset at such a young age. And a lot of people and a lot of, kids around at my age at that time, they realized that. And so they would come up to me and ask me like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or, "Hey, Bree, like if this person was doing this to you, how would you handle it? Or what would you do? Or how would you feel?" Type stuff. And I would sit up here and I would literally give them constructive, advice as much as possible. And I would try not to make it come from a biased perspective from, things that I've experienced, And, I also tried to make sure that my heart was right because especially like I said, for those who would like there would be people that would only hang out with me when their friends weren't around. Because as long as their friends was around, the friends that didn't approve of me or didn't like me, they walk past me down the hallway. Brianna who type thing, right? Like just walk right past me, like, you ain't just see me? Oh, okay, okay. All right, noted. Got that, type stuff. And so, yeah. Uh and so what inspired me to start speaking was that. I started realizing even outside of school, like even literally in today's time, like as I'm going about life and I'm noticing that I have a huge impact on people. Huge impact. Huge impact. Don't know how, because never been perfect. A lot of people have seen my downside. A lot of people have seen the not so good parts of me, but at the same time, they still come to me for help. And I have that heart to want to help as long as you're willing to receive it. And so that's what inspired me. That's what inspired me to start speaking. Another thing that inspired me to start speaking as well, especially why my podcast is called Ideal Woman, is because literally, and this is really coming from this is coming from Brianna. Um, I've noticed a lot, and not just today. I've been noticing that a lot of it's a lot of younger women that are coming to me. A lot of younger, a lot of younger women, a lot of young ladies coming to me because they're struggling with knowing who they are. They are struggling with knowing their value, and when they come to me, and I'm talking about literally like 15, 16, 17-year-old girls coming to me. Some will come to my DMs and social media, and there are some that I know from my old church. There are some that I know from school, some that I know from when I played basketball in AAU. There are some, and they'll come to me, and the things that they would say, things like, I'm not good enough if I don't have this. I'm not good enough if I don't have that. I won't get attention if I don't wear this, things like that. And it's like, in today's times, there's a lot of weight on women, but there's a lot of negative influence on women as well. Excuse me. What I mean by that is, it's a lot of women, it's a lot of young women who are on social media. I mean, literally, especially for today's generation, a lot of young women are on these social medias literally all day long. They compare themselves to, these big named women who don't respect themselves, who don't carry themselves correctly, and your kids, people who are watching right now, your kids are watching these women. Your kids, your kids' friends are watching these people, they're out here half naked, disrespectful, and not only to themselves, but to people, very masculine. And it's just like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here? And I'm not judging, but at the same time, it's like, why? Why? Like, it's just. And so when I started my podcast, and I was like, you know what? I want to cater to women. I want to cater to women because the things that I've experienced at such a young age, so early in life, they are already going through right now. For those of you who have kids, you don't know what your kids are dealing with on a daily basis. For those of you who have friends, girlfriends and stuff like that, y'all don't know what they have to face on a daily basis. On top of trying to meet society's expectations, on top of trying to be something they're not, trying to cover up with a mask. And so for me, it was just more so of like, man, like, if only women knew how powerful their femininity was. If only women knew how powerful they would be if they would tap into that and would really carry themselves in a respectful way. They wouldn't have to be so masculine. They wouldn't have to be out here, especially with society making it out to be that, like, women have to appear strong, like, I don't need no man, I don't need no help, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm always good type thing, like, women always wanted to appear strong, like as if they got it all together, and for some of us, like for me, I grew up in a two-parent household. And not once have I ever seen my mom, come off masculine and, come off disrespectful and, pretending like as if she didn't need, help, or she didn't need, time to just wind down, time to just unload, to get things, she never appeared to be, oh, I'm so strong and I don't ever need lifting up. I don't ever need assistance. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic as hell. Okay? We as women are not built to be strong. We as women are not built to be independent. And yes, especially, younger women my age that have grown up with their parents, especially, their moms telling them, go out here, get your education, don't depend on nobody, right? That's all cool. That's fine and dandy. But at the same time, you lose focus of being a woman. You lose focus on being a woman. And you start getting into this mindset of, I'm independent. I don't need nobody. And I don't need nobody's help. I don't need and then on top of that, not only are you putting more weight on yourself, trying to hold it all together or seem like you have it all together, but now you want to appear strong all the time. And when you're really down and hurting, the people that you want to cater to you, the people that you want to uplift you, they can't because you always the strong one. They ain't never seen you down. And when they ask you if you're okay or if you need help, you turn them down. So it's like, you eventually gonna break down. You eventually gonna break down. And so my whole thing about, being inspired to speak, that's why I'm inspired to speak. That's why I am inspired to speak. Because I used to be that woman. I used to be that. I used to be her. And so, yeah, that's definitely my big inspiration. That is why I'm so passionate behind my podcast. That is why I'm so passionate about being a self-love coach. That's why I'm so passionate about helping women. Is because of those things that I've listed so far. All right. Is this helping any of y'all? Y'all a little quiet in them chats here. Oh, I see my mama on. Hey, lady. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what it was. That's what it was. All right. We're going to get into this next question here. So this next question was, who is, before I get into that, back to that second question of why I'm so inspired, and when I talked about the influence that your kids have, the influence that your friends have and things like that, I wanted to ask y'all in the comments, let me hear, who is your influence? Who has a huge impact on you right now in your life? And what type of influence is it? What type of influence do you have on the people that you look up to? Because just like me, I didn't realize the impact that I had. For a long time, I didn't. I was just operating in it and didn't even realize it. So I ain't even gonna lie. I probably didn't even realize it until like two years ago. It's when I really started realizing what exactly I was doing. Crazy. Ooh. All right. So this next question was, what was it once a challenge to prioritize your business and your personal life? Heck yeah. Yes, of course it was. I mean, it is. It still is. I mean, honestly, between being a full-time employee, being a full-time mother, raising my daughter on my own, being a podcaster, trying to keep my podcast schedule, consistent, as well as ministry, trying to be consistent with those two things. Like podcast and ministry alone is like a lot. It's a lot. And if you don't handle it correctly, it could be a huge weight. If you don't handle it correctly, it could be a huge weight. Huge weight. All while trying to maintain my mental state and trying to take breaks in between all of that, even taking a break from being a mom, like, hey, sometimes I just need to go out. I just need to go out and enjoy life. I need to go out and get out this house. I need to get out this house, okay? Get out this office, And I think that's very important. But for me, it took a while for me to get to that mindset. Like, it's okay to get out. It's okay to unload, to refresh, And the only way you can truly do that is not by taking a rest, not just by taking a nap. I had to learn that. But sometimes I would actually say, okay, I'm gonna stop this for today. I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna get some rest for the rest of the day. And I would actually do that. But that's not always enough, And so I think for me, the biggest challenge was not only learning what's the priority, but also learning, because I found myself double booking as well. I would double book my podcast with the ministry work, and I would have double events on the same day. So I had to get more organized. I had to get more not just more organized, but I had to get more structured. And overall, I just had to take it day by day. For me, the only way I could even get to where I am today, the only way I could start my podcast and keeping good rotation between podcasting and ministry work and being a full-time mom and having a full-time job, I had to make a daily schedule. I know some people make weekly schedules, monthly schedules, but for me, I literally had to make it day by day. Like, okay, today I'm gonna do this, tomorrow I'm gonna do that. And then go from there. And I had to kind of work my way up because it is definitely a challenge, for sure. If you're just doing it and you're not making sure that your mental is still good, making sure your spiritual state is good, your emotional state, all of that plays a huge role in being effective in what you're called to do, and overall being effective in what you're doing in general. You can't be effective if you're not taking time for you to unload, rewind, to refresh. So what I do now is I literally go out. I go out, I have a good time, whatever that may look like, and now I'm actually planning, like, vacations and trips as well, things that I've never done before to kind of keep me balanced, and so that I'm not stressed out, I'm not frustrated, and I don't feel overwhelmed or overworked, type thing. So definitely was a challenge at first, but I'm definitely getting into the hang of it now. That was an easy question. That's why I kind of picked it. Because some of these other questions I haven't even picked to go over today was, ooh, very personal. Y'all a little nosy, okay? Amen. But yep. So this next question here is, out of everything you have had to go through, what was the most difficult? I'll say the question again. So she asked me, out of everything you have had to go through, what was the most difficult? I'll say choosing to heal. Yeah, choosing to heal. It takes a lot of guts to make that decision. It takes a lot of guts to choose to heal, to move on, to move forward, especially when you've gone through a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointment, a lot of toxic relationships, not just, romantic relationships, but with family and with friends, people that you thought that you were going to be connected to for a long term, long period of time. It takes a lot of guts to choose to heal, because when it comes to healing, y'all, I'm about to cry. When it, when it comes to healing, it's not pretty. Healing is never pretty. And whoever gave y'all that expectation that healing is pretty, or that healing is easy, y'all, that's the most difficult. Choosing to heal. For those of you who do know me, some of y'all on this live, y'all know me. Y'all know me on a personal level. I don't do well with the healing process. I don't do well with the healing process. I hate it. I hate the healing process. But I chose to go through it. I'm still choosing to go through it. And the reason why I hate the healing process is, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. The reason why I hate the healing process is because it gets intense. It gets intense. And for me, from a personal level, the reason why I hate it, and it took me a while to choose to heal, was because I knew what I became. I knew what I became because I chose not to deal with my hurt, because I chose not to face the reality. I chose not to face who Brianna became because of the hurt that I went through, the things that I've lost. So, because of that, y'all, it took me almost a year to really choose to heal. And some of the people that are really, really close to me, that really know my spirit, that really know me, they know they knew when I was just putting on a mask in public, especially at church. Oh my gosh, some of y'all read right through me, right through me, and I thought I was fooling y'all too, but nope, nope, nope. I was dark inside, dark, empty, dark and empty. Here's the thing, and y'all are gonna see this on this video that I'm uploading soon, where I'm giving y'all the top 3 things I did to tap into my feminine energy. Y'all are gonna hear me say it again in this video, but the thing about the healing journey is most of the crap you have to heal from is stuff you will never get closure in. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. Most of the stuff you have to heal from, the crap you have to face, is stuff you will never get closure in. No apology, no, no understanding, no explanation, nothing. And you have to make the decision on if you are just going to sit here and stay in that hurt, or if you're gonna step out that thing, make the decision to heal, face it, own up to your part of the hurt. Because half the hurt that we go through, honestly, y'all, half the hurt that we go through is our fault because we allow certain things to go, and we let things pass for so long. Like, oh, okay, I see this. Oh, I peeped that. I'm gonna let it slide this time. I'm gonna let it pass this time, and then you wonder why you dealing with the crap you're dealing with. Yeah. And then you wonder why you dealing with the crap you're dealing with. And then all the while you allowing stuff to keep happening, and you choosing to stay with it because of the potential of something, of what could be, instead of actually acknowledging and accepting what's actually happening, not just between you and that person, but whatever situation that you're in. Instead of making the decision to just be like, you know what, this is not good for me. It's not good for my spirit. This is not good for my character. This is making me be somebody I'm not. This is making me turn into somebody I don't like. Instead of making those decisions right then and there, we stay in it. We stay in it until we just, especially for as women, we stay in a lot of things until we are emotionally gone. Like until once we emotionally unattached, like once we are emotionally gone, emotionally dead from a relationship or situation, then that's when we decide to leave. Then that's when we decide to move on, to choose better. Why do we wait till we get to that point to make a wise decision that could have prevented a lot of hurt, could have prevented a lot of damage? You know, maybe we wouldn't have so many trust issues. Maybe we wouldn't have. Maybe we wouldn't have. So many traumas. Maybe we wouldn't have so many heartaches. Maybe we wouldn't question everybody and everything that comes into our life. Maybe we wouldn't have so many walls up and expect somebody to come in and just magically sweep us off our feet. Maybe the weight could be lighter. Woo! Woo! Just maybe, right? So for me, that's why I hate the healing process. But I chose and still choosing to go through it because it's a difficult decision. But in the end, I know that I'm gonna get to a day where I just look back and be like, I actually do that now. Like even like literally just yesterday, I was having a conversation, and I was like, man, the woman I am now versus the woman I was 2 years ago. Oh, I'm a bad mama jamma. I'm a bad mama jamma because, yeah, the woman I was 2 years ago, she was just, she was walking fire. If I had to describe it, she was walking fire. I was walking around with the hurt, carrying the pain. And anybody that I came in contact with, I was bleeding into them. Intentionally too. I was bleeding into them. And so you asked me what was the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do out of everything I've experienced so far, and I'm only 23, so I know I still got a lot of experience to go through. But this the stuff I went through so far, choosing to heal. Choosing to heal. That's deep there. Y'all too quiet for me in the comments. Talk to me. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? I'm actually finna wrap it up real soon. Cause the way y'all got me feeling, I see, I should have knew what I was getting myself into when I told y'all to send me y'all questions. Cause see, y'all got me on a whole nother level right now. But I hope this is helping y'all because this is me. This is me. This is why I've started Ideal Woman Podcast. This is why. Man. I have one more question that I chose for this video. The last question I chose was, what is your main goal for your podcast? My main goal is to build a community of women that don't mind sharing their life experiences. Like eventually I want to get to a point where, and you don't have to, if you want to remain anonymous, perfectly fine. You can DM me and let me know that, hey, I wanna share my life experience. I want to share, my story, one of the things that I went through and what I've done to overcome them and why I'm able to thrive in the woman that I am right now. Whatever story you want to share, perfect. That's what I want. That's what I want to get to. My goal is to get a community of women that aren't ashamed to share something from their past that they've dealt with and what they've done to overcome them. And even if you haven't overcame it yet, but you don't mind sharing your story, that's what I want to get to. And if you want to come onto my podcast, perfect. You can come onto my podcast and share your story from your own point of view. If you don't want to come onto my podcast and you don't want people knowing that this is your story, perfectly fine as well. You just let me know that you want to remain anonymous, but you do want to share your story because you know that your story can help other women who could be actually going through it currently and who needs guidance, who needs advice, who needs, a push, a motivation, influence to help them get out of whatever situation that they're currently in. You never know what your story can do for someone else. You never know what other people are going through because a lot of people they're not open, especially now in today's times. They're not open, with their hurt. They're not open with their struggles. None of us are. And so that's one of my main goals is to build a community of women who don't mind sharing their life experiences and would love to share it, for those who could be going through it, and we just help each other grow. We help each other build, you know what I'm saying? As well as, reaching as many women as possible, and making a better influence, especially because I have a daughter. Now, I'm even more passionate than I was before, before I became a mom. I'm even more passionate now because, the type of influence, that are out there today for women is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I refuse to let my child grow up learning how to be a woman from society, learning how to be a woman from social, especially, I almost said a bad word, shoot, especially not from social media. You hear? You hear? So, yeah. That's my biggest goal is just to reach as much women as possible. And it's just a huge community of women building each other up, building respectful women, women that are truly into their feminine energy and that really understands the power behind that. And just think about it, if all of us came together, to start making a better influence for the younger ladies that are growing up in today's world, imagine what type of world we would get to if we had more women today that are more respectful of themselves, that truly understands their worth and value, that understands femininity, and still understands, how to take care of themselves, but not put so much on them as to where they cannot trust others to carry their load with them. The right people, of course. Not just anybody, but I definitely want to build up a community that has a better influence on the younger ladies that are growing up. Those are my main goals for my podcast overall. Okay. I'm gonna stop it there. I am gonna stop it there because I did have 2 more questions, but we are an hour in. So I'm gonna cut it off here, but I definitely want to know what y'all thought about this video. You know, did you enjoy this live? You know, just a little that I gave y'all from my point of view so far. And if so, then let me know in the comment section below if you want a part 2. Go ahead, just comment part 2 for me. Part 2, part 2. Hey, part 2 me, please. Part 2 me, please. Please, please. Because and if so, then like I said, in the part 2, I'll have a guest speaker come on and we can just tag team on y'all. You know, if y'all thought I got deep today, wait till I go into details about some of the stuff I experienced. Y'all gonna be like, wow. Part 2 me, please. All right, I see y'all in the comments. All right, cool beans, cool beans. But yes, 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 that is the end of this live. Please remember, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video. Okay, like this video if you enjoyed my live. Once again, I really appreciate y'all taking out the time to even come onto my live. It meant so much to me, and we in this thing. So be looking out for my video coming out next week on the top 3 things that I did to start my feminine energy, to start, you know, tapping into my feminine energy and letting go of my masculine energy that I once had. You know, still kind of have a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, every you know, it's a day by day thing. You know, but you know, it is helping. Okay, it is helping. All right, go ahead and hit that QR code at the top. That gives you the link to my social medias. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video and like. I love you guys. Coach Bree is out.